Good evening. My name is Tyler Kane. I'm a senior at the Athens Boys and Girls Club, and things I like to do is play sports, as you know. But as a kid growing up, I grew up in a neighborhood that was like not the ideal neighborhood. The ideal neighborhood, you see kids playing, enjoying their brothers and siblings, and just having fun. But the neighborhood I grew up in, you either seen violence or you seen drugs in the neighborhood. But my choice was to go on the academic route and get away from those things. The three choices you had in my neighborhood was school, sports, or drugs, or the streets. And I seen many of my friends fall victim to it, and I refused to fall victim to the streets and to the drugs. The streets is a place no kid should be. It's a place where you see people that went to school and fell off because of the peers they grew around. And that is something that no one should go through. As for me, I am challenged in those circumstances. I'm one of a select few, I say 5 or 6, that take honors classes at the high school and participates in any organization within the school. And I am determined to do things that no one else would do. I am determined to be a voice for those who are afraid to speak and those who sit behind the scenes and just let things happen and let anything in their life happen however. The Boys and Girls Club, it helped a lot. Without them, I'd probably be the same place as all my friends and even some of my family. I'd be a victim to the streets and be, a normal kid, as they would say. But I refuse to because I've been around people who has been in many situations and they had got out of it. As for me, I watched my mentor, Coach J, I'll say. He's more like a big brother to me. I've seen the roles that he played to me and also other members of my Boys and Girls Club. And for that, he is a reason why I'm here to this day. He showed me the correct way of life and the incorrect way of life. The correct way is to follow God, do everything that God says to do. Go to school, stay focused, and determined for whatever goal you have in life. The incorrect way of life is to be selfish and only care about yourself and people that involves you and not their community or friends that needs the help. Every day I go to Boys and Girls Club, I get a sense of relief. I go there whenever I'm stressed about school, personal life, or anything of that nature, and I will always have someone there that I can talk to about anything. And they also even help me during school. Like, they will help and see if I need help with any of the homework, do I need help getting my get grades right, letters of recommendation, anything that would succeed me in life. And for that, I thank them for everything they have done for me. And this is a reason why I think I should be the candidate for the Youth of the Year and how the Boys and Girls Club has helped me. Thank you.
It doesn't matter where you are. You are nowhere compared to where you can go. Bob Proctor. Good afternoon. I would like you to take a moment and imagine a place where a kid can come in ordinary and leave transformed into someone extraordinary. It may sound impossible to you, but this has been my experience at my club. I'm Shana Ross, a native of Huntsville, Alabama, and Calvary Teen Center's Youth of the Year. The last 10 years of membership at my club has given me the support, opportunities, and experiences that has allowed me to blossom in ways that I never imagined. As a kid, I was very shy and timid. I never allowed myself to be as powerful as I could or wanted to be. I would never speak unless I was spoken to. As I spent more time at my club with many other kids, they were able to bring that bright light out of me. In just 1 year at my club, I instantly went from the shy to the goofy, fun-loving girl who would introduce herself to every kid on their first day. I developed the confidence that I needed to be myself without wondering who would judge me. My club gave me diverse opportunities to express my creativity and develop team building skills. I discovered that I had a talent in art through participating in the showcases at my club. I remember vividly my first entry into the art showcase. I was nervous that my work wouldn't be as good as the other kids, but I was encouraged to try. I entered my best work that year, and I won first place. I was so surprised and proud. This experience helped to boost my confidence and desire to come out of my comfort zone. I no longer shy away from opportunities that allow me to demonstrate my creativity. It was at James A. Lane Boys and Girls Club where I was able to be a part of my first sports team, soccer. My father wasn't in my life as a child and still isn't to this day, but thanks to my club, I am blessed to have a father figure like Coach Calvin. He was one of the first coaches that I had met through my club. During soccer practice, Coach Calvin would encourage my teammates and I to repeat, "Communication cuts down on frustration. Communication cuts down on frustration. Communication cuts down on frustration." At the time, I thought communication would help us do better as a team. I never thought it would be so vital in the real world as it is today. The staff at my club have helped me become the best version of myself. They taught me about self-respect, confidence, and goals. They never felt to challenge me. Yes, all A's and B's were good, but why not go for all A's? Through my club, I have gained a countless number of role models, and now I am able to take on their position and be a role model to the kids at my club. The mission of the Boys and Girls Club says to inspire and enable all young people, and that is what they did for me. They inspired me to be my authentic self and to reach my full potential. I am now an honors student in the engineering strand at New Century Technology High School, where I hold a 3.8 GPA. I am dedicated to becoming a mechanical engineer. Whenever I look back to the shy little girl I used to be, I am thankful for the Boys and Girls Club. They kindled that fire in me, enabling me to be who I am today. I am a leader. I am intelligent, beautiful, ambitious, hardworking. Most of all, I am powerful. I am confident that there will be no challenge put in front of me that I cannot meet and surpass, and I thank my club for the investment that they have made in me. Thank you.
I first want to start by saying thank you to everyone involved for this wonderful opportunity, including God. Good afternoon, everybody. 2 years ago, at this very exact spot, Mr. Lightbourne made me cry because he told me he remembered when I was a baby. So the club has been in my life for as long as I can remember. About 9 years ago, when I became a complete member of the club, I had a kind of a problem with prioritizing my homework and my education. Miss Liz helped me out with that. She pulled me out of my age group, and I had to do my homework at the front desk, and I could not move until it was done. Now, before that, I was with my peers in my age group, and I am an only child with a single parent. So I thought being around kids was just great and wonderful. I had people I can play with, and then I could go to soccer practice and still have enough energy to do my homework at home. Needless to say, that did not work out in my favor. So that was Miss Liz's result, was to make me do my homework at the front desk, and she would not care if it was 5 o'clock and I was not done. I could not move. But Miss Liz, Coach Calvin, Coach Damien, all the staff had my back. If I got in trouble at school and the teacher called my mother, I was going to hear from the time I set foot on the bus to the time I was going to sleep that night. Somebody was going to be there to tell me, hey, you know what you got to do. Get it right. I stayed here while my mother finished up her shifts at her job. Because yes, she is a powerful woman, but she cannot do it all on her own. Miss Liz made sure I got my homework done. Coach Calvin made sure I made it to practice on time. Coach Damien made sure I had everything I needed for practice and to make sure I had everything I needed to do before I went home. Along with education, I learned discipline and a whole bunch of, I'm gonna say characteristics that brought me together. Coach Calvin taught us be a friend, make a friend. Be a friend, make a friend means treat people how you want to be treated, and you can see them as support, friends, family, and maybe even assets for the future. I learned to make better choices in life because of this club right here. It was right here where I made lifelong friends, learned valuable life lessons, and wonderful memories. I was recently told that if you want to be an eagle, you cannot hang with turkeys. So that just really embraced what I was taught here, because I can't hang around kids that don't see that there can be better. So I started hanging around people like Shayna, people like Shakoria, and they helped mold me. So that's why I stand here today. The Boys and Girls Club here, James A. Lane, Coach Calvin, Miss Liz, Coach Damien, Coach Henry, Miss Tiffany, They're not only staff, they're family. This has been the best support system that my family has ever had for generations. This is my second home. And it is true, it takes a village to raise a child. Thank you.
My name is Shakoria Akins, but my friends call me Corey, and you guys can too. I attend Williams Boys and Girls Club, and I'm honored to be Youth of the Year this year. Freshman year, I worked harder than I had ever before. New Century was my first real challenge. It was the first time that I went from just memorizing things to actually having to think. All of my friends were stressed out. I remember staying up until 2 a.m. the night before picture day, hoping that I didn't look too tired in the morning. At some point sophomore year, it just didn't seem worth it to me anymore. At my school, we don't have pep rallies, we don't have sports, we don't have any of the typical school spirit related things. The club has always been my source of adventure. My friends didn't get this. Personally, I lost myself for a few months. I cried a lot. I spent a lot of time not going out on weekends. But there was nothing that compared to what I saw around me. One of my best friends had a nervous meltdown and ended up leaving for a while. My math partner tried to overdose on pills. A girl at my bus stop tried to jump out of a moving car. My grades were slipping, and my club director called me in to ask me what was going on with me. He checked on me continuously throughout the year. He got me he got me a tutor, and Mr. Bryan came in twice a week to help me with my studies. The people of the Boys and Girls Club have always been here for me, and they've always listened to me. Most kids aren't blessed with a place like this to come to. No person could live on their own. All of us depend on each other, just like I'm depending on all of you to listen to me and understand my story. The people around me and the pressure that they felt without any relief, without any support, and without anybody to understand them is what crushed them. As the club was a lifeboat for me, I watched my peers drown around me. At the club, I was surrounded by people who taught me not to succumb to peer pressure. I was surrounded by people who taught me that I can do better and that I can be better, and that I can't be defined by numbers, and that I have to define my own success. The journey of my mental health hasn't been one that I was able to make on my own. I made it with the people around me as they supported me and taught me how to be better. As my friends turned to substance abuse to cope, I depended on my family at the Boys and Girls Club. Without the club, I would be leaning on all of the wrong things. The lessons I've learned here have been invaluable. You can show love in many ways. You can show love by listening. You can show love by just being there. You can show love by enjoying someone's company. I'm going to end with a quote by Tony Robbins. Only those who have learned the power of sincere and selfless contribution experience life's deepest accomplishment, true fulfillment. Thank you.